Welcome to Hornbill TV Special Explainer, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Alnguli. The 80s and early 90s were the not so golden age of drug addiction in Nagaland. It was also during this time when, according to media observers, and most of us from that generation actually believe this, the highest number of extortion-related killings in the state took place. Nagaland seems to be making another undesirable record in extortion. Extortion continues to be a disease that our government and community organizations, the citizens genuinely need to address. I repeat, at the policy and enforcement level. In 2021 alone, the state recorded extortion to be the most committed crime. According to the National Crime Records Bureau, extortion and blackmail in Nagaland figured at about 7.6%, ladies and gentlemen, 7.6%. This is the highest among the states and union territories in India. Now, if you want to make a comparison, here it is. The national average during the same period for extortion in India was just 0.8, and that was in 2021. Now, in September, the Nagaland police launched an application for the stated purpose of eradicating extortion, and that's not my word. Eradicating extortion, that was the word of the police establishment. They wanted to eradicate extortion and drug abuse in the state. The Nagaland Director General of Police, Rubin Sharma, said at a press conference earlier that the application would enable people to help the police in curbing extortion and drug abuse. To be more specific, ladies and gentlemen, citizens may report any criminal act specific to the two said offenses using the police application. We'll be talking more about this later on in this explainer. So, using this app, you may report anonymously. They don't need to have your name, or that's what we were told. What the police authorities are assuring you is that your personal information and the information that you provide in regard to the two offenses, drug abuse and extortion activities, your information will be kept secure, secret and confidential, ladies and gentlemen. That is the assurance. So this is how the application works. Citizens can register via the Movement Against Drugs and Extortion in Nagaland. Yes, that is the MADEI, Movement Against Drugs and Extortion in Nagaland, or go to the website MADEI Nagaland. If you in case start looking for this particular website on Google right now, there might be some confusion here. Initially, we thought that that was a very weird domain name for a crime reporting website by a police establishment. So I went to this domain called madeinnagaland.com, and you know what? It's an e-commerce website selling Naga products from food to handicraft and a lot of things. Naga entrepreneurs, you don't have to ask me about the prices there. The prices look like your Aadhaar number. Anyway, prices of Naga products are a topic for another time, ladies and gentlemen. So anyhow, we came to Made in Nagaland Center instead of the police website. So we were wondering what kind of a police crime reporting application is this? What kind of a police website has tea, meat, pickles and handicraft? Something must be wrong. So we went back to our report and checked out the name of the website that the police authorities gave us earlier. It wasn't Made in Nagaland, but madeinnagaland.com. So that was the reason why we were taken to Made in Nagaland, that e-commerce website in the first place. It's not Made in Nagaland, but MADEI in Nagaland. At first glance, you're going to make a big mistake there. You'll be landing in all these pages where they're showing handicrafts and meat pickles and a lot of Naga goods there. Again, the Nagaland Police's application is MADEI Nagaland. I repeat, MADEI Nagaland, not Made in Nagaland Center. So MADEI Nagaland is a police application using which you can report extortion activities or anything related to drugs. I think the MADEI Nagaland was probably an acronym for the Movement Against Drugs and Extortion in Nagaland, MADEI. You got it. Rubin, you guys really need a domain name that sounds business-like, snappy, easy to remember, and people won't really confuse it with madeinnagaland.com, which is an e-commerce website. So you guys need a domain name that won't end up in Google search engine sandbox. For those of you guys who don't know what Google sandbox is, Google sandbox is a situation where websites are not ranked well, or websites can't be found on search results due to various functional reasons, including bad domain names. When you have a bad domain name, it means people won't find you because they find the name confusing, or they cannot really place the name when they are trying to find your website. So I think this is a suggestion that we'd like to put forward, or I'd like to put forward. So now that's cleared. If someone comes to your small shop asking for tags, or students or community unions who demand parking tags or road tags for parking areas or roads they didn't even build, you can go to Nagaland'S.com, not made in Nagaland Center. So you can go to Nagaland'S.com and you can report it. For the sake of clarity, ladies and gentlemen, today's explainer will focus only on the aspect of extortion and not drug related complaints that our police website will be handling in this regard. So now, how does Nagaland Police's application work? Go to Nagaland'S.com. You will come to the home page of our police's anti-extortion, anti-drugs website. Everything looks legit. There is the Nagaland Police badge too, in case you have trust issues, and you can just make out the badge there and you will see that there is the Nagaland Police insignia. You really don't have to worry about having to feel whether or not you are writing to a wooden Naga spoon on an e-commerce website. So I think it is very clear there. You can see the police insignia there, and I think in the background is Kohima. I think the photograph was taken from somewhere towards the Raj Bhavan, overlooking the main capital town there. So nothing too suspicious because the police's badge is right there. So you'll see other links in the corner, top corner. You can register complaint. You can click on it and it will lead you to the complaint registration form where you will have to fill in the details. Also, you can see a link that says you can download app right there. By clicking on it, you can download the app in case you want to use your phone to report criminal activities of extortion and or anything related to drugs. So it looks like an APK, if I'm not mistaken, because if it's not on Google Play or iTunes, then it will be a standalone APK that you can download to your phone. So if it's an APK file, it will only be for Android for now. That's what I believe. So now a very major extortion activity is going on, or someone is asking some kind of an independence or road tax or something in that nature from you. So you want to report it to the authorities. What do you do now? So how do you start? So what we do is you click on this link called register complaint. It's at the top. Alternatively, you scroll down and you will come to the form. There you can see it on the screen right there. You can see enter full name, full address, and you can enter your business name in case you have a business. So you see the district, and then there are spaces for phone numbers there. So you have to fill in all these blank spaces. Now, this is where it gets very interesting, ladies and gentlemen. Fill in the name of the faction there. So when we in Nagaland talk of faction, we only know who these police people who are talking about faction, So right there you can put in the name of the faction or the members of the particular organization who come to you seeking tax. So there is a faction, organization, or any other organization. So now in this space you can input the name of the nationalist organization or the community or the students group that come to you demanding tax of any kind. So you may even put in the name of the individuals, because there is nothing here in the blank spaces that says you cannot write the name of individuals. So if you know someone who is extorting from you, you can write in that person's name in that space. And then if you look at the screen, you will see that there is space for the suspect's phone number. So you can include your suspect's phone number, the guy trying to extort from you. So if it's for extortion, you fill in the amount you have to fish out to pay the extortionist. Right there, you can see it on the screen towards the bottom of it. If they ask you for 10,000, if they ask you 5,000, whatever the amount, you input the extorted amount right there. In case your complaint is about drug related transactions here, because if it's for drug abuse, then you'll have to put in the name of the drug abuser. So that's going to get a little awkward there. So I think it's for smuggling and peddling on some kind of a transaction related to drugs. So you fill in that relevant space on the form with the suspect's phone number. You may then, you can see there a small feature that says attach files. You may then attach the files, photos or documents in support of your complaint. The police say that the attachment may include the suspect's photograph, audios, video files or any other information related to your complaint. Strangely, the website says that anonymous information will not be eligible for rewards. Now, that's a little bit awkward there. We'll be talking about this in a little while. There are two things here. First, you will be paid for reporting on these two offenses, ladies and gentlemen. The establishment will pay you. Second, despite claims of autonomous reporting, this form says you can't report anonymously. So I don't know, there's a lot of confusion in there. On the other hand, we had media reports and establishments saying that, oh, we won't use your name, nobody will know you, it will be anonymous. But then if you go to the form and you can just check it out, and then if you go to the footnote, you can't report anonymously because you cannot be paid. So this needs to be cleared by the Nagaland police if you are watching this. So I think there's one clarification that we might need, our viewers. I assume that payment for reporting drug related transactions such as smuggling and peddling would be the one that will be getting the reward. I don't know. And then there is another issue. People report to the authorities only because of the assurance of anonymity, because the authorities tell them that we won't be disclosing information about your name or who you are. That is the reason why people have the trust to actually stand in front of the authorities and report unlawful activities. So most people will not report if there is no assurance of maintaining anonymity in here, ladies and gentlemen. So back to the website, the police has been assuring that the information shared on the website is secure and that is accessible only to authorized personnel. So it's right there on the website. In case you don't want to go through the hassle of filing in your complaint, you can do it on WhatsApp too, ladies and gentlemen. At the bottom right of the website form, you will see the WhatsApp logo. You can click on it, and now the link will take you to the WhatsApp number of the authorities with whom you can chat and lodge your complaint. Here you can use WhatsApp to chat with the police directly. Considering what the media and the police explained earlier, please note here that this is not like a first information report but a reporting platform. You can use this to report extortion and drug cases or drug related transactions without anyone else knowing, or at least that's the assurance that we are being given. But if you go to the website and check out the form, there are asterisks all over the places where it is mandatory for you to input your details. For instance, your name. Of course, it wouldn't be made public, but at least if there is a level of confidentiality involved in there, then I believe that you will also not be required to input your name, because you never know, one day the organizations or even private individuals will get their hands on a very nice hacking software, and if they one day hack the Nagaland police software, then you are not anonymous anymore. I mean, situations like that happen, ladies and gentlemen. So now we have gone through the website. Interestingly, considering how extortion and drug addiction are as common as our potholed roads, there's been only about 1,536 visitors to the police website, ladies and gentlemen. I was actually expecting something in the region of lakhs, but then it is still new, so we're still going to give it a chance. Like, we'll have to wait for a little while for the number of visitors to increase, while we can appreciate the app and the various innovative measures our police authorities are taking to stop one of Nagaland's biggest diseases, ladies and gentlemen. It remains to be seen how this will work. Reporting is one thing, enforcement is quite another. I think it is obvious. So we are assuming that the authorities will exert tangible, measurable and appreciable efforts to ensure our towns and cities are cleansed of these criminal activities specific to extortion. Extortion is an act that is committed under a threat of harm or violence. That's why most people generally do not report it, app or no app, because there is a level of threat to a person or his property that they can exact money out of you. There is always a threat. There is the element of fear and harm involved. So whether you have an app or not, people will not report it. And this is where trust in the government and trust in the police forces are very important. Editorials and media observers in the recent past in Nagaland have often pointed out that the issue is much more complex than simply making sweeping, nice sounding political statements against crime. We should rise up against crime. Don't be afraid. Don't be scared of anyone. The police and the government, we are all here for you. You come forward, we'll take action. It's a totally different thing at the ground level. I have heard from my own colleagues and people in the media how in Nagaland, for instance, people do not report extortion cases, not just due to fear of harm against them, the potential of harm against them. Extortionists in the state are people who have both the history and the habit of harming others, ladies and gentlemen. They have both the capability and the history and the habit of harming others if they want to get something out of you. That's Nagaland. So these are not people with stick and stones. So it is not just the threat of harm to yourself that you fear, that you have to concede to their demands. It is a threat of harm to your loved one. Nagaland is a small community, small state. So it is not just the harm to you that you're anxious about. It is the potential harm that might be caused to your loved ones. So that is the reason why most people do not report it. Even if angry citizens felt a conviction of courage to report the criminal elements, they also must have to think about the safety of their loved ones. I grew up in the 80s and the 90s. I know what I'm saying. And those from my generation know what threat and harm really means in the context of Nagaland. Another issue is most of the extortionists are lone rangers. Unless there was an entire village with you when the extortionist came asking for money from your shop, that guy, he might have an idea that it was you who reported. Again, extortion is not always through phones or emails. What phone number do you provide if this dude comes to your shop, grabs your money and leaves? You don't have a phone number to input into your website. So this might be some of the areas that the website might need resolving. What is required is, besides innovative measures as the extortion reporting application here, besides that, what is required is a strong policing and enforcement system in Nagaland that actually performs even without formal complaints. I have heard a lot of times in my journalistic career that the authorities, the police authorities in the past, they refuse to acknowledge crimes and take actions because they did not file a formal written complaint. So those are some of the situations that will demand more than just sweeping statements about crime or being brave or being courageous. We need to build trust in the community and the citizens first if they want to come forward. If they trust the government and the police, you don't need an app. You don't need formal written complaints to the police. You will just step forward before the authorities and make your complaints because they know that the authorities are going to take action. So what we can do is, besides setting up innovative platforms such as the reporting website here of our Nagaland Police, there are other things we can do to build confidence in the people. Ladies and gentlemen, remove all paperwork, too much paperwork, too much running back and forth for this and that action, too much formalities. Remove all the paperwork, remove all the administrative processes to filing a complaint to make it easier for the citizen to stand. So another suggestion is to use more of the Shumoto tool to instill confidence in the public, to make them feel secure whenever they have a complaint. Second, there is a need for strong judicial activism that actively uses available constitutional tools such as suo motu to inject a level of faith in the public to gather courage to stand up when their rights are violated, for instance. The more the public see the police and the courts in action, the greater the courage and the more the people who will start reporting. More and more people will start coming up and they will report unlawful activities because they know that the courts and the police are on their side. Most of the cases were suo motu actions by the police or through the initiative of the police. That's what the Nagaland DGP said in reference to recent arrests in regard to extortion cases. So that's a good thing. The more suo motu cases from the police side, I think it's easier for the citizens too. I hope the number of suo motu cases from the police and the court increase. Thank you for watching Hornbill TV, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be bringing in more explainers for all of you. I'm Al Nguli. See you next time.